Perfect.
I started a year ago with nothing. I had $3,000, bought some fin, then I started with that. A year after, right now I'm at 6 locations. I have 30 instructors, 2 full-time staff that are taking and booking calls. I train over 3,000 mermaids with my team, and I have a 6-figure business. Then I worked really hard during the last year, and I didn't know where I was going. But I learned a lot of things, and that's what I want to share with you. And then take a lot of notes, because this is what I wanted to know a year ago that nobody knew. And I like to start with a bit the economics, because we want to do that, but we need to make some money at the end, because we need to live out of it. And mainly I just did a monthly budget for a mermaid school. And for me, at full capacity, is a pool of 25 meters by 5 lanes. It's 30 people in an hour. Then 3 groups of 10 people, that's a full pool for me. And with those numbers, you can, your expenses will be around $5,000 per month. At the end, you will make a profit around $7,000. That's if you run it a month. And this is if you hire a sales rep to do the sales. If you do it yourself, that reduces the cost. It's all about where you want to go. I put the management tool about everything you need to pay, from the website, the emailing software, the marketing you need to pay to be in the newspaper, to be online, the sales rep that needs to be paid. That's mainly the biggest expense when you hire staff. But you can always start doing it yourself. And also you need your staff, because if you run those numbers with 60 people, 30 people in a pool, you can't do it yourself. You need at least 3 instructors, you need assistant instructors, and also like a manager. That's what I learned. You can't just have people like giving classes, you need someone to manage all those people. And that's pretty much. In revenues, it's about selling classes and also selling tails. Because people, when they buy a class, they want their equipment after. And those are just the thing I'm doing now, but after that you can go upsell little pins, little things. But I think something that when people start, it's like overwhelming. There's so many things to do, and I said, focus on one thing. You get merit classes, and once you're good, okay, let's add selling something else. That's maybe for the numbers. Then you can make good money out of it, for sure. How to start your mermaid school? Starting with pool rental. Do you have an idea how much it costs to rent the pool for an hour? Like, let's say a 25-meter pool, 5 lanes, standard. No clue, but you need to pay that fee. It depends from the pool, but around what I measured, it's around $100 per hour. And something you can rent, like the pool, you can only rent a few lanes. Or you can I managed to deal with them, because some classes when I started were really small, and I said, I can't pay $100 if I have 3 students. But I don't want to throw the whole student away. And I said, can I pay $10 per student? And they were flexible with me. Then you really need to be friends with the pool manager. And sometimes they say like, what, you want to touch people's feet? We don't want this in our pool. How do you break that, and how do you make them look? And something that's interesting with pool, that's our sunk cost. When you pay it, it's gone. Then your goal is to fill up the pool. And I'm saying I want 30 people in that pool. And that's how you make it happen. That's just about, and also for the ratio for instructors, like how many instructors can I put with students? What I do, it's 1 instructor for 10 students, but they need to have an assistant instructor. Then the ratio is 1 like instructor for 5. But normally the instructor is really leading the class. The assistant is just like fixing up the tail, going with the people that have more difficulties. And that's really important. And then you can go, according to their experience. Classes. Why do people stay for a long time in classes? Why do people come back to a class? That's something interesting, because a lot of people do mermaiding once. Try it, check, done, I'm gone. I had my dream, and that's something, that's not a business. That's really hard, because you always need to go back and get those people again. And I was really thinking about why people do synchronized swimming for 10 years of their life. Why could we not do that with like mermaiding? And that's super important, how you do your business model. Classes, how I structure it, I made introduction class, do it once, and that's pretty much it. After that, I made a membership. Then you pay like a monthly fee. Us, we charge $75 a month, and then you have access to all the pool and the classes. I really like that. I started before I was giving packages of 10 classes, but I realized that it's still something you always need to go after and go, do you want to review your 10 classes? Then when you're just a membership, it's automatically paying. I said you need to stay a minimum of 4 months. It's like your 10 classes. And after that, it's automatically renewing until you tell me I want to stop. Then that's the bit how I figured out that's the best way for me to know. Because it's not like, and what we do for the classes, we have the trial, we have the membership, and the parties. Because parties are a big part of my, like how I divide it, I would say around, right now 70% are people that will do it one time. And that's really still pretty high. Then this is half and half trial class and parties. Parties you can go with kids parties or you can go with bachelorette parties. Adults. Or I got like this girl that she was 50 years old and she wanted to celebrate her birthday. Then don't limit yourself to parties. And also after that you have the recurrent people that are your best customer, you want them to make really happy, and that goes with like, you need to give them challenges. You need to, like, I ask people, why do you stay in a class? Because they have friends there, the instructor is motivated, they learn something new. And that's something that is long to build class outlines that you can come entire year and always learn something new. That's what I put together with an Olympian synchronized swimmer. And that was a long time, but like people, they came 10 classes at the end of they're like, oh, I'm tired, like I want to do something else. That's something you need to prepare. And that's a lot of work. But at least if you know. That's pretty good. Equipment now, tails. Mermaid tails are really fun. There's so many kinds of mermaid tails, but which one to choose? I tested so many tails. And I came to the conclusion you need a tail with 2 straps for each feet. And one of the biggest problems, I don't know if you know, but especially with kids, that their feet are too small. It just fall off. And how I made, hello, that's good. How I made it a solution, I took the fin and I put a neoprene insert in them. And it makes the feet more like tighter. And also because I tested the one with 1 strap at the back wasn't folding out, there was also the one with neoprene on top. They're 2 feet. But the thing with those is that they're really super flexible. And you don't push water with them, it's really more a toy. And when you do swimming classes, you want to be able to push water and have some really good movements you can do. And I tried it, like, I really integrated a lot of synchronized swimming and monofin swimming to be a sport. Because I don't know if you know about monofin swimming, but it's just for free diving. And your goal is to go as deep as you can. Then you need to push water to go somewhere. And also synchronized swimming if you want. And all I presented with the classes because you have different kind of customers. You have the kids, you have the adults. What those customers want. Mainly the adults are looking for fun workout. And a fun workout comes like at the end of the class, I feel like I'm tired and I feel my abs and like I get something out of it and we see results. Kids, it's more about fun, playing games, and their parents want them to learn something. They want them to, like, do you learn some swimming movements? Are you more comfortable in the water? Do you know your dolphin keep you like objective you reach? That's really important about the class. Equipment, yeah, at the end what I've done with the equipment, I just started to make my own. That I am launching it this year because last year was just out starting. And like I was asking to a lot of suppliers and they didn't want it to be wholesale price. That's something I didn't understand because there's all this mermaid community that tried to start little parties and like I want to buy 10, 20 fin and they don't want to give me any kind of rebate. And I was like, I think they didn't understand that we are the ambassador of their discipline. And that's what I really want to bring to people in the community, that I can have those wholesale price from China. Good, insurance. How much is a Mermaid School insurance? Any idea? Yeah. It varies like province and state, but I know for like Canada, you need a minimum of 2 million. If you don't have that, a pool won't let you rent. Minimum. It can goes up to 5 millions. Because I was looking to expand to give mermaid classes in the resort in the south, and they were asking for 5 million. Then that's the range, but ask your local pools. But that's something really important. You don't go out, and it's yeah, insurance. Marketing is super important. I got featured on ABC, Vice. I got a video on 3 million views on the internet. how do you go there? How do you make it happen? Because you're like in your living room thinking, oh, I'm taking mermaid classes. Something you try to find the free way to like advertise. What you're super lucky, it's a really good concept. People like it anyway. It's colorful, it's happy. Media will come. Then what I've done, I listed all the blogs, all the newspaper in my city, and I just invited them for a free class. That makes a really good PR push. It's good at the beginning. I've done that last January when I started my school in the snow and everything. The worst time to start it, but that one was really good. I got a really good push. The only thing you need to know, when you invite people, you don't control what they say. They will give their honest opinion. You need to make sure they like it. Because if you get bad comments, that's not good either. But normally, if you're prepared, and that will go well. Also with medias, that's something people sometimes we're not used to it, but media are really controlled and really direct. They will ask you questions, they will say, oh, we want that angle, and like people don't like medias because people don't like to be filmed videos. And that's a big, like you always need to ask the pool, can I bring media in? This is the media, this is what they will do. And but how I say for marketing, how to do it, you need to prepare, let's say, 100 pitch that you will break down to 10 pitches. And pitches are a different way to present. Let's say mermaid, it's a fitness center. Or mermaid, you make your dream come true. You find different like pitches, and then you give angles. Angles, I mean, for each pitch, you need to find 4 or 5 angles. Let's say it's fitness. Fitness for your little daughter that will learn how to swim. Fitness for a mother that wants amazing abs. And then you target each media, how to present to that mom. Because if you invite a fitness magazine, they have a different audience than if you want like a kid tour event. But both of them are really good to invite. And then you've got the newspaper, like the local news, and it's all about how you present, and you need to think how their listeners will like that. Because this is what they want. They want something appealing to their listeners. That's mainly it for marketing. Also something interesting right now, when you search for an activity, where do you search? Internet. People are all there. Then I try a lot of things. I tried newspaper, I tried flyer, I tried posters. They have their limits. It's good for, let's say somewhere you need to be is the pool that you find. You need to be in their local pool. And sometimes people don't want that because they say you're stealing their swimmers if they offer other products. That's why you want really to be really friendly with the pool management. But this you need to be there physically, have a poster. But the rest I would say your website is what makes you're on the map. And that took me a lot of time. Since I started, I use 3 platforms. I'm not a super online person, but I know it's important. But it's all about people want to book now online. They want something easy to pay, and just finding a website that is customer friendly, easy to book. And if you want recurrent payment, if you want one time, if you can book many kids or many adults, that's something, it makes a big difference. Your website, and also how to rank with our keywords you want to rank for mermaid parties. And that's I gave a training about this, and I got an expert that really helped me with like how to rank and like SEO. And something we're lucky about, mermaid is not like a word that is super in demand in general. Then you can quickly rank. After that, the people that will have more time before you, let's say Mara Taylor, or the people that make tells for a long time, they will be higher normally because they've been there since a long time. That's the basic about. And also what I've tried that worked really well is events. Then I bought a big seashell, the clam in China, and then we went for events, and I had like this mermaid sitting, and people were taking photos, and I was asking, okay, take a photo, give us your email, we'll send it to you, and then you can do a follow-up with them and send them the information about the school. Interesting, but you need to target. First time I've done it it's called Just for Laugh, and it's a humor festival. And people were super happy to take photos of the mermaid, but they didn't want it to take mermaid classes. Then at the end, it's fun, but it doesn't make me any money. It doesn't work. Then it's really about where do you go. I think will be like sport festival. Everything linked to any girls sport will be like yoga festival, pole dancing, or anything that brings a lot of girls that are active. That's where you want to go. Or kids, like anything related, gymnastics, swim, synchronized swimming, after cheerleading competition. That's a good place where you want to be. Where your target market will be. That's pretty good. And that's the video that got like 3 million views. And it was just like, if you got a video that works well, just take this one and share this one everywhere. The higher, and especially this one is in French. Like most people don't understand nothing about it. But and like they don't talk too much, but it just look a lot of beautiful girls that look like beautiful girls, funny and supportive. That was really good video. Just want where we are at time. Okay, startup costs, because a lot of people want to start, but you need to buy some things in the beginning. What you need to buy some fins. Price of the fins really are different prices. Normally in retail you will find them at $100. Wholesale, the best price I was able to find was $60 Canadian. From a Canadian supplier that was not able to supply my demand. Also about replacement, you need to think about replacing tails, because when you use it yourself, you take good care of it. It's your beautiful pearl. But when like tons of kids are using it, do you know how long can a tail last in a school environment? No idea? I would say I extend their life to 4 months, but you need to hire seamstress because there's holes. And I spend tons of nights repairing tails. At my husband, I just hired someone, and how much it costs to hire seamstress to, like, it's always those things that you don't think about. That makes a big difference, because at the end of the year, if you need to replace, you don't even need to replace your fin if you've got good strong fins, but like 3 times a year, you will need to replace your entire tails. That's an important cost too. Online tools, you will need to have like payment process, you got a web page, your phone service, online customer management service, booking platform, like all of those things are things. Yeah, you can take a photo of it. That will be faster. And then insurances. When you start, that depends on how many instructors you have, how many hours of boat you rent. Mine was around $1,000 for the first year, but I'm sure next year it will be higher because I'm getting bigger. And it depends for like where if you give it just in your state or you're planning to do many states. That varies too. Instructor training, that's something, because who is qualified to be a mermaid instructor? That's hard to know. Like, what is their training? What do you expect from them? Like us, we were looking for people that has already experienced giving swimming classes. But that's just not it, because like if they give Red Plus classes, they know objective, but they don't have the spirit. They don't, like, we asked them, do you know the name of the octopus area? Like, you need to be in it. Like, you really need to look like mermaids, and you need people really extroverted. We asked them, can you hum the Little Mermaid song in front of a class? Because you need that outgoing feeling. You need to be loud, and also like that's how when people come to the class, I'm telling you, you can't, like, you will be laughing. Like you want to have that feeling. I'm not doing laps all day long, and like it's boring. That's and there's a lot of like a training. You want me to train, and like they need to do an internship in like all those process. And I would say like it costs, like you need to hire someone to train them. It's a long process, and it's a service company. Then if your staff is not good, customer won't be happy. And something I realized like early, they can be the best trained staff, but if you don't make them, like, you need to create that team dynamic. That is really hard to like create. Is like something that you don't really touch tangible, but like we created a Facebook group just for the instructors, and then we share anything we could find about mermaids on it, and we do contests, and the employee of the month can get mermaid leggings, and like it's a lot of fun for this. Then I would say if you want to start, you will need to have like $10,000. minimum to have your equipment, train everyone, and just to start. After that, the monthly cost, if you sell, like you will pay. And what's good about it is like you ask people to pay in advance, then you always get the money, and then you can spend it on like your employees do. That's pretty much. And something you can compare. A lot of people want to start a yoga studio, but last our like fixed costs are pretty low. It's just the number of hours you want. You rent it. You don't need to rent it the entire time anymore, and that makes it a really interesting business. Yeah. Also, what's happening right now, like, we're at 6 locations right now in Canada, but my plan next year is to start a lot of Mermaid School in the States. And what we will do is to give like a full training with all the details about learn the class outlines, how to give the class, how to train your staff. And it will be 1 week in April in Costa Rica. We'll just bring everyone together, give a full week about how to like manage everything from sales, marketing, giving the class just more detail. And also I want to share with everyone that wants to start, because I went through that. I will like wholesale at $50 all my tails. Then
the 2 strap ones?
Yeah, the one, like those are 2 design. I will have more design coming up, but those ones are, and something that is interesting is there's a zipper on the side. Most of them don't have a zipper, but that's something you really want. I can pass it around, but
For the thing.
yeah, because anyone who loses it, you're like, I don't know what to do, I need to take it off. And then that's why you have an assistant, but that can take all your entire class to fix up tail. And that's one of the biggest problems I got. Parents were like, my kids were losing their tail all class. But like, that's a sport, that's why you take many classes. Don't you fail at your ski when you start? Like, that's normal. And this is education. People don't know, people think it's easy. And yeah, those ones are from my like previous supplier, but it will be exactly pretty much the same. And it's just adjustable, 2 hooks. I use the same, this is from normally 6 to 9 feet size. For kids, I have somewhere in there.
When you say $50 wholesale price, do you mean for the fin and for the tail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally, I contacted tons of suppliers. Normally, they don't do wholesale, or the wholesale is like $80 or $90. Like, I try it with the 7 years old. That's the minimum age I ask. I got a lot of requests from like 4 and 5 years old. And then I said, how can I get them? Because I feel like I don't like to see older customers. And like, it's my little baby girls. And I adapted, we create also like a program for little kids. They don't wear fins, they wear little toddlers. Then it's like a skirt mainly. Then they feel like they are, and we split it in 2 halves. First half is out of the pool. They put like a tail like this, they take photos. And they play games outside of the pool. Second half of because the classes are normally an hour. Second half, they need to go with their parents, and they swim with a mermaid. Then I adapted for younger kids to be able to participate to that. And it's all about creating something that people want to adapt. And also I didn't tell you about how, yeah, and also I didn't finish my slide. If someone, like I was doing things. And if someone wants to like buy like 300 tails, I would say normally to run the class, you will need, like a school, you will need 60 tails. 30 for adults, 30 for kids. And I hope you run your full capacity. Maybe you can have a few more, but I feel that's a good start for your inventory. And after that, the rest, you buy more because you want to sell them. And I guarantee you can at least sell 20% of your customers that come, you can sell them a tail. And what I do, I sell wholesale for you $50, and then you can resell them at $100. And I ask like people to keep the same price. Then you double your money. Then I feel that's a really good deal. Anyone that is into the mermaid industry, I just bring it affordable for our ambassadors. That's something I was kind of stuck with it being, and like replacement tails, that's something also that you need. And I sell replacement tails at $25 each. Then at least you know like how you go, and after you can plan your costs. And yeah, and if someone wants to buy like 300 tails, I feel that's an amount that you can have your entire year to start like this and sell your tails. And I get like the free training too, then you can come to Costa Rica for a week. That's pretty much what I was thinking to offer people. And yeah, after that you can start in your city. And my goal, yeah, I have a lot of things. Right now it's all under corporate. like I manage all my school. I don't want to sell a franchise because that's something, it's a lot of paperwork and it's complicated, but I want partners with them. Like, I know my tails are good, I tested them with 3,000 mermaids. Like, I know which one are good, I want it's affordable, and I want you to make money out of it. That's pretty much about this. I don't know if you have any questions about anything that you see. Oh, maybe I can just let you know before how much I sell the class. Like, what are the price range? Because it's a specialty class. And sometimes when people ask, like, why? Because they're a bit higher than the normal price. But I say, like, that's the only place you can do it. Like, if you don't want to pay. And I charge for a trial mermaid class of 1 hour, $60 plus tax. This is one time. After that membership, I sell $75 per month. Then you can come as many times as you want. At the beginning, for sure, you won't have that many pool time because at the beginning I was taking 2 hours of pool per week. That was it. But if you can put 60 people in those 2 hours, you make your money. And that's pretty, like, it's like seeing, people like it when there's a lot of people in the pool. It makes it really dynamic and like, wow, you're organized, you know what they're doing. And people, you make friends. And you really want your customer to make friends with each other because they will come back because their friends are there. That's pretty much sell them $100. Yeah, what I will do, because with all those sales, like all the supplier and the people in China, and I will do a big Kickstarter starting February 3rd. Then I will be able to have everything, sell them. Sit down. Any questions? Yeah.
Do you go as an LLC then? Or I don't know, maybe Canada's different.
Like you need to create a corporation?
Yeah,
it's different. I don't know. I know in Canada it's according to how much money you make. If you go over $30,000, you should be incorporated because of tax purposes. But if it's really hard. But like anyone who wants to start this, I would say go full time. I'm full time in like you can totally live out of it. Because if you do it part time, I think it's like you won't get the attention. You won't get